Hello friends, this is Igor from the channel Ballad About Fishing. Today I will guide you through the process of preparing delicious homemade boilies specifically designed for carp fishing. At least the ones I personally make for myself to effectively catch carp. Let's take a closer look at the various ingredients, their specific purposes, and what the final product will look like. To begin with, we create a combination of bone meal and oil cake, although fish meal can also be utilized. For a more premium alternative, krill is an option I prefer to use due to its higher nutrient content and effectiveness. Hemp flour, semolina, and seasoning are all great options. In fact, you can use any of these ingredients because they contribute uniquely to our main scent that we share with you. I also use paprika. I use paprika primarily for its vibrant color. I want to achieve a slightly orange hue, which is exactly why I'm adding it here. As an alternative, there's no turmeric, so paprika will do. Alright, now we're going to carefully throw in all the fresh ingredients and place the pot on the stove to cook them thoroughly. Begin with the semolina. Ideally, it's about half a glass filled with 100 grams. You can add a little more depending on the specific portion you wish to mix. Yes, now I carefully add 3 teaspoons to the mixture of bone meal and oil cake flour. There is hemp flour, a spoon and 2. I take a bit more than usual. We can all equalize it in principle the same way, 3 each. Yeast. There is seasoning. You can be quite generous with the seasoning to ensure that your dish has a wonderfully pleasant aroma. In summary, it's a single teaspoon of seasoning that has a notably strong and appealing aroma. And I think we'll need about this much paprika for color. Alright, let's add a little bit of semolina on top now. Yes, and we'll get it all sorted out. Yes, we definitely need to end up with some dough, which means we are going to carefully pour water into it now to achieve the right consistency. Someone is pouring liquid honey, while someone else is using condensed milk. Here it is, essentially, if it is indeed possible. I don't have any, so there will be water. We will also need a specific product like this one, which is essentially an egg to fulfill our requirements for the project. And here it is. We begin the process of kneading this mixture thoroughly until we achieve a smooth and cohesive dough. Keep in mind an important point. The semolina needs time to dissolve. So don't rush to hydrate it just yet, especially if your substance, as you can see now with mine, appears crumbly and dry. Allow it to sit undisturbed for approximately 10 to 15 minutes, just like this. And after that, you will understand whether you need to add more semolina or not. If it continues to be this crumbly and dry, then add more liquid or ingredients as needed. If it already has a sticky mass, you can start cooking it. Let's wait then. We leave it to rest for approximately 15 minutes and patiently wait for the results. Now we are trying to knead it. It adheres to your hands. If the mixture sticks excessively to your hands, then you definitely need to add some semolina for improved texture. But just take a moment to look at how it has transformed into what it is already. Here it is. As you can see, it's already beginning to stretch noticeably. Excellent. In fact, you can mix in either corn flour or pea flour here, depending on your personal preference and desired texture. That is, it all depends on the body of water where you will be fishing. I'm planning to go to the river today, and this specific combination of items works best for me during my visit. Semolina is meant. Plus hemp flour. We mix everything. Here it hardly sticks to our hands anymore, as it seems to have lost its adhesive properties over time. This is actually enough. You might still be able to do it, but personally I don't. As soon as it stops sticking so thoroughly to my hands, it still has a slight stickiness, but that's no longer significant or bothersome at all. So that's it for now, guys. What exactly are we planning to do next? Now, our primary task is to transform it into something like this. Let's carefully pour a small amount of water into this container, approximately like this. Let's put it to boil. It's crucial not to toss it in immediately. Instead, add it only when the water is at a vigorous boil, just as you would when preparing dumplings or any other similar dough dish. This timing is essential because if it's added too soon, it will likely fall apart, and we certainly don't want that to happen, right? So, the water is boiling. Let's throw in our pancake. In this matter, your gas power should be sufficiently strong and well regulated so that, in the end, it doesn't all turn into an unappetizing mush or lose its desirable texture and flavor. Keep up the intensity. There's absolutely no need to set the mixer on low heat and minimal speed, because doing so will cause your dough to turn into anything but what you truly need for the perfect consistency and texture. We continue to boil for approximately 5 minutes after it starts to boil, and then we check it. Depending on the specific gas power settings you are using, your jam cooking time will typically range from approximately 5 to 10 minutes to achieve the desired consistency and flavor. So you need to boil it thoroughly until it becomes nice and firm. Don't let it stick too long, because in the end you'll end up breaking the entire structure. Remember to turn it over. In approximately 3 minutes, gently flip it over to the opposite side for even cooking. So, after boiling, we drain the water and take out our, I can't help but want to call it a cupcake. Ready? You see, he has become quite firm. Let it cool down completely and thoroughly, if possible. Once it has completely cooled down to a safe temperature, it can be effectively used for its intended purpose. It is highly advisable to use a syringe for accurate measurements. You simply cut off this specific part where the needle is attached, and essentially, you just press down like this and gently push it out to release the contents smoothly. In other words, you'll essentially have semi-finished bolts. I unfortunately don't have a syringe with me to demonstrate the technique, so I'll resort to doing it the old-fashioned way using a knife. It turns out to be something quite similar to bread, only much denser. It is carefully cut into small cubes and thin sticks. Next, I'll show you step by step how to do it effectively. This will be in the next video at the water body. Use it. It's a cool thing that works all the time, practically everywhere.